Hey guys, what's up? It's Howie, and today I'm going to review NASCAR 14. I did pick up this game on the release date, so I've had about almost a week to play it. I haven't had as much time as I should have, but I want to kind of get this out to y'all in a hurry because I know other people's going to come out with their review, and I figure I can get all my stuff together right now. I should have had more time to play it, but like I said, I have been busy with other things, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started with this. One thing before I get into the sections of the game like I do with all my reviews. One thing that is valuable for y'all to know is that it's only for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. Only for those three platforms. It's not for the Xbox One, it's not for the PlayStation 4, it's not for the Wii, it's not for the Wii U. So if you were looking for those, sorry guys, it hasn't came out for those yet. And now the Xbox One and PS4 could be a possibility later on because they're looking at the how they're selling and debating on if they should release NASCAR 14 on there. But I doubt it. I think they'll wait till the next one they release, even if they do release another one. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, okay, so we're in the NASCAR 14 race shop menu. So here we got career, single player, multiplayer, highlights, paint booth, and my NASCAR. So let's go into career and let's cover that real quick. So in career, right when you get into the game, it's going to ask you for your driver's name, all that. You're going to choose this number. You're going to put some kind of race team, whatever you want. You can't just choose one. You got to just like make some random one up. Or if you want to like just write down the race team's name, then you can do that too. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the game at all. And you're gonna pick your manufacturer, whether it be Chevy, Ford, or Toyota. That's your choice. I'm a Chevy guy, but anyway. So it's the same thing as it was in NASCAR Inside the Line. Every other NASCAR game that's out there, you race through the season. You go from Daytona to Homestead. So it's the same thing, except for this year. You can race the new cars, the 6th generation cars. You can race those in your career, and you can also paint your cars and race your painted cars in the career, which you could not do in previous games. So that's something else added to it that I know a lot of y'all's happy about. Now, this is a bad thing for some of you lazy people. So when you're signing a sponsor, which you're going to have to do to get money, you can also win races to get money, but I would suggest you to sign a sponsor, really. You literally have to go to the paint booth, go to your career schemes, and then literally put the sponsor on your car. If you don't, it will not let you race if you're signed with that sponsor. So you have to put it on your car, and you have to make your own design, your own scheme, pretty much. And I know a lot of you lazy guys are gonna be like, "Oh man, I wish I they go back to the inside line thing where if you just picked a sponsor, it had like a default paint for it." Well, I wish they had that option too, and the option to create your own designs and stuff in it. I think they should have done that, but maybe they'll add it in an update later. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Things can happen. So I guess that's it about career. And there's one more thing I want to cover, is the research and development. So the research and development, pretty much you can upgrade things to your engine, to your brakes, to your chassis, to your body, all that good stuff. You can, and you notice when you buy things, it'll your race shop will change. Like you get more crew members, you'll get more bodies in there for your car. Everything will change as you keep on upgrading your race shop and your just your driver's car, and he'll have multiple ones by the time you're done upgrading everything in the career. So it keeps you going, it has you something to do, and give you a reason to race every season. And in that inside the line, you really didn't have a reason because all you was doing was just upgrading the car itself. You wasn't upgrading your crew or anything like that. So that's something new. So now I want to get into single player. Single player is the simplest thing. It was actually the exact same thing off Inside the Line. So in the single player mode in NASCAR 14, you have race now, track testing, and you have the race race season, where you can go for the full season with a NASCAR driver in the Sprint Cup Series, or you can go for the last 10 races in the NASCAR Sprint Series, which is the chase for the Cup. And it's the same thing as it was Inside the Line, so yeah. Also, one more thing I want to add before I get off single player. This goes for career and single player. So the AI in the game is the same as it was No, it wasn't the same. It is upgraded. You'll notice how the AI does drive a little bit smarter. Like when like in NASCAR Inside the Line, I found myself a lot of times with the AI not wanting to really drive right with me, and with NASCAR 14, it kind of they're kind of more aware of their surroundings and they'll work with you more. Still not as good as EA's AI was. I thought EA's was the best, even in the 2003 and 2002 games. So that they might want to upgrade sometime later. But yeah, the AI is improved, so that might be a good thing for some of you guys. So right before I get to the next part of the review, I want to get to the drivers. And also, one more thing before I do this, this is only a Sprint Cup game. It doesn't have the Nationwide Series in here or the World Camping Truck Series. So I'm sorry to you guys that think that was going to be in here. It's not. Maybe in the next game they'll add it, or maybe even for DLC. I highly doubt that though. But there is some hope for that, and I'll show y'all why in just a second. Alright guys, so most of the drivers are in the game, but some of them that couldn't get in there because of licensing, or they didn't have time or the money to do so, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because most of them's in there, but they had to compensate to get 43 drivers in there. So, where I'm getting at, you know, a lot of y'all wanted the Nationwide series in the game and the Camping World Truck series in the game, but it's not in NASCAR 14. Maybe they'll add it in for DLC for the game, maybe even in the next NASCAR game they make, if they do make one. But there's some hope there because there are some nationwide drivers and some truck drivers in here. I can actually name you off the nationwide drivers right now. So there's a new team in NASCAR 14 called Junior Nation. Junior Nation in real life is a nationwide series that Dale Earnhardt Jr. owns. Now, he has himself in there, Chase Elliott, which is Bill Elliott's son, I think, and Reagan Smith. So, and and this is the funny thing. Um, that's both their exact cars, except for not Reagan Smith, except for Chase Elliott. His car's not like that in the Nationwide Series. He runs a Napa auto part sponsor, but in the game he just has some random scheme or whatever. But anyway, those are nationwide drivers. They are not in the Sprint Cup. So that's a little weird, but they had to get licensing somehow. I thought that was pretty neat. And then I do know there's two truck drivers in here, but I don't know their names right now. I guess it really doesn't matter. But that means that there is a possibility they could add this later on for like DLC or in the next game. And this is possibilities that even in the Xbox One and PS4 versions of the game, if they ever do make them, they could add this into there. But that's one thing I wanted to cover real quick. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Okay, guys, so if you remember NASCAR season highlights from Inside the Line in NASCAR 2013, well, they have that back in this game where pretty much you go back to like a event in a NASCAR race. Let's say there was a pile-up wreck, which I haven't seen any pile-up wrecks in this season highlight menu thing. They might add it on later, which would be pretty cool. But right now it's just like things like passing drivers and making it into a certain place, or like rewriting history and stuff like that, which I think they added that first in NASCAR Inside the Line, but I can't be too sure about that. But it's the same as it was last year for Inside the Line in 2013. So let's go ahead and move on to the multiplayer. Okay, so the multiplayer within NASCAR 14 it was better than it was in Inside the Line and NASCAR 2011, the game. Let me explain to you why. Because when they first came out, literally you couldn't get online. It took you minutes to even hours to find a game maybe, and it would lag seriously. Within NASCAR 14 there is still the problem of lag, and it's about the same multiplayer as Inside Lines, but at least it's not like people's exiting out of the lobbies and joining other ones like they were with the previous one. Now the only problem I noticed within NASCAR 14 with the lag in multiplayer is sometimes the cars will disappear and reappear like seconds in between, which is a little weird. I hope they fix that sometime soon. There was a patch for the first day the game came out, like 24 hours after the game came out. I don't know what that did, but it must have done something, but it didn't fix that. So I don't know what to do about that. So the multiplayer is alright. I wouldn't buy this game for multiplayer. I definitely wouldn't. It's the same thing as it was at Inside Line, and yeah, you shouldn't be buying it for the multiplayer at all. One of the newest features about multiplayer is the online league section. So in the online league section, you can set up your own league with your league name. You can set up the events you want. If you want qualifying and racing and practice, you can do your practice time. You can even like set which tracks you want to race at first. If you don't want to race at Daytona first, you can do Talladega. You can do any kind of list you want. It'll keep score for you. It keeps an organization together, and you can actually invite people to your league, and it'll send them an Xbox Live message for you. Pretty cool system. I thought it was pretty cool. I might even make a league myself within the game, but I'm already in one of my friends' leagues, so yeah. But for some of you guys that's league owners and you want some organization to the NASCAR games, there's a perfect cool new feature for you guys. So NASCAR 14's gameplay. First thing I want to cover, when you're racing by yourself, it's going to ask you what difficulty you want to put the AI on. The AI is the cars you're going to be driving against. So it goes from 5 to 100, which is a good thing. That way you don't have to go through easy, medium, hard, and legend, whatever it was. So you can have a little bit of a variety there. And what I would recommend for most of you guys, if you're normal or okay at the game like me, I'd recommend to go around 50 or 60 in your career mode, because your car is not going to be as good as everybody else's. Unless you have it set up already, which a lot of you don't, then I would just go with around 50 or 60 difficulty level. And then once you get your research and development all the way up, then put it at like, 90, 80, 100, depending on how good you are at the game. Another thing in the game, when you're pretty much doing the same thing as you do in every game, every NASCAR game. You're going to qualify, you're going to practice, you're going to practice again, and then you're going to race. It's plain and simple as that. And the last thing about the gameplay I do want to cover is the AI. So the AI is relatively more intelligent than it was in NASCAR Inside the Line and NASCAR 2013 for the PC. So the reason I say this, because when I was playing NASCAR Inside the Line, a lot of the times the AI would cut me off for no reason. They wouldn't move over quite the correct way. It was so unpredictable. And within NASCAR 14, you can kind of predict what's going to happen. Now, it's nothing like EA did with each AI having its own personality. Like, if a driver was kind of like a guy that would rattle your cage, and kind of like on the evil side and the good side. Each driver would have their own kind of personality. The AI would have their own kind of way they would react to things. In this game, I do not see that. That'd be cool if they could add that into it in the next game, but I don't see that into this. All of them drive about the same, but they are more intelligent. They're more predictable, so that's a good thing. So I want to go ahead and cover the graphics before I give the whole game its entire rating and my opinion on it. So the graphics within the game, it's the same as it was for NASCAR 2013 for PC and NASCAR Inside the Line for consoles. The only thing I noticed is it does look a little bit sharper, and it's not by much. I mean, it's little bitty things I can't really notice at all. The race shop does look a lot more better, a lot more cleaner than it did in Inside the Line and in 2011. So that's one plus side. But honestly, within the game when you're playing it, it doesn't look any different. I'll be honest with you. I do think the details are more vivid, are more noticeable, but that's the only thing, guys, that I noticed. And I don't even know what engine it's running. I don't know if it's running 60 FPS, 30 FPS on console or PC. I don't know. I'll list all these things in the description below, the things I didn't cover in the description. I got most of everything around, so if you want to check out, if I can find the engine, it'll be in the description. So check the description if you want to find all that stuff out. I'll list it down below. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and give you my rating and opinion on the game. So after having hours on end with NASCAR 14, progressing in my career and getting a good feel of all the modes, one thing I want to say about this game, I do think it's a little bit overpriced. Now, I'm glad they didn't ask for $60 for it. I'm glad they did $50 for the PC, 360, and PS3 copies. God knows how much they're going to ask for the Xbox One and PS4 versions. Hopefully it's not $60, because that's going to mess a lot of things up, unless they upgrade a lot of stuff in it. But I think $40 would have been spot on for this game. $40 for the starting price would have been great, kind of like Halo Anniversary did. They went with $40 for their thing because it was pretty much a redone game. This game kind of feels like Inside the Line and NASCAR 2013, the game, just with an updated roster and some new features within it, like I said, with the difficulty meter and just some other things, like you can paint your 6th generation cars and all that, and with new 6th generation paint schemes and stuff like that. So it's not bad considering how much time they had. They release these games yearly, and if you're a fan of NASCAR games, I would recommend you to go check this out. If you're a you guys want to get into NASCAR games, and you have a 360 and the PS3 laying around, go for it. It's a great game. It's the most updated one. If you're looking for the most updated NASCAR game for the cheapest price, and you don't have a gaming PC that can run iRacing or NASCAR 2003, because NASCAR 2003 does have updated mods and stuff like that. But if you're looking for the most updated, up-to-date NASCAR game, and you don't have a terrific PC, go for NASCAR 14. It's a great game to start out with, and it's a great game if you want the most updated things. And even if you're a fan of the franchise from the newer NASCAR games, go get it. Even if you're a fan of the EA franchises of NASCAR, go get this game. I would recommend it if you have $50. If you don't, wait for the price to drop a little bit. I'm pretty sure in a few months they will. But anyway, I give this game a 7 out of 10. And that's being generous. I was going to give it like a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. But considering the new stuff they added and the time they had, that's what I give it. And hopefully for the next NASCAR game, they do a little bit better and take their time with it and just update things in this game for right now. And I'm going to be coming out with a video saying what we want from the next NASCAR game, whoever's going to be making it. So guys, I hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.